Well, hello, Scrappers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. And today it's time for another mail call video. My buddy Jim, who lives in the Phoenix area, has sent me another box. Jim is a great patron of this channel. In fact, he's a patron of all three of my channels, and he from time to time sends me care packages, okay? And who knows what's in it. I did take a quick peek in last night. It came late, though, and I was just too pooped to really do any unpacking. So we're going to unpack it today, and you're going to get some genuine reactions to whatever Jim has sent me this time. And you got to know about Jim is he's a person with multiple interests like me. He's a scrapper, too, and he has quite the setup at his place for scrapping out stuff. But he's also into lapidary, like I am, and he knows that I'm into retro computing and electronics, so he sends me stuff that I might be able to use for that hobby too, even though he's not really into it. And he sends me stuff and asks me to identify it because he gets a lot of stuff when he's scrapping that he's not terribly familiar with because he's not into electronics. Me, I was an electronic engineer, so I can generally identify pretty much anything. So, all that being said, let me dig up a knife, and we will dig into this and start unpacking the stuff Jim has sent. Yeah, wife and I have had a couple busy days lately, and well, I was just too pooped last night to really dig into this. I did notice right off the bat, though, we got some IC chips. He said he was going to send me some IC chips to see if they're anything I can use for my retro computing, because he got a lot of boards that have these chips on them, and they're socketed, and he take them right out. And he says, if I want any of them, I can have them, and he's going to send me a representative sample to see if there's anything here I can use. There's a switch here. Looks like single pole, double throw, momentary contact switch. He said he threw this in. He sent me an email explaining some of this stuff. He said he threw this in just in case I might be able to use it for something. Well, thank you. We'll take a look at these chips in a minute. Okay, he got some telecom boards. He sent me some pictures. And, maybe he wouldn't mind if I reproduced a couple of the pictures he sent me here to show you what he's been depopulating. So he got some telecom boards that had a lot of these little daughter boards on it, dozens of them. And he was wondering what they are. Well, I can see right off. Yeah, that was older telecom equipment in the pictures, which, hey, older might be good because this thing is just covered with MLCCs. You might have some good older MLCCs here with palladium in them, Jim, and maybe a lot of silver too. That might be worth testing because older is better when it comes to MLCCs. It's got a few IC chips on it, but what I see right away is it's got 3 little relays on it, which is not unusual with older telecom equipment for switching the phone lines, because the voltages on the phone lines were just too high for the chips to handle back in the day, before everything went digital and phones were still analog. They used a lot of relays. So yeah, I could see why there would be, a dozen daughter boards like this on each of those telecom boards full of relays for switching the phone lines. So that's pretty much what you got here, Jim. I'll give you a close-up look at this board. I know I'm zoomed out pretty far. So yeah, so here's a close-up look at this board. You got the three relays over here. This looks like a full bridge rectifier, a big IC chip, small IC chip, big IC chip, 2 small IC chips, a lot of chip resistors, some MLCCs up here. And on the back, well, we got a lot of MLCCs, some very big. We got some tantalum capacitors, a whole lot of chip resistors. Unfortunately, the fingers are just, well, I was going to say tin, but you might want to check them to see if those are silver plated, Jim. It's possible they're silver plated. Or they could even be palladium. So you may want to check that. I'm not sure. It looks too bright for tin, but maybe not bright enough for silver. It's hard to say. So check that. You might have some precious metal there in these, even though they aren't gold fingers. But yeah, there's just good stuff on these boards, and I know from the photos you sent me, you have a lot of them. So yeah, and they're almost all surface mount, except for the relays, which are through hole, and a resistor or two. They're through hole, so these should depopulate really easy. In something like my rotary depopulator over here, which I'm actually in the process of making another video on it while I'm making this video, and I'm depopulating a whole bunch of ram sticks in there that another great patron of mine, Rick, sent me. So I am depopulating his ram sticks in there and unpacking a box from Jim. It's just been raining goodness on me from the U.S. Postal System lately, let me tell you. So anyway, that's what you got there, Jim. And I know this isn't really the channel for it, but we will delve into a little bit of retro computing here for a few minutes. Skip ahead if you find this boring. So we got this 40-pin chip right here, and I recognize the number right off. That's the MC68B03. That is a Motorola microprocessor, originally designed in the mid-70s, early to mid-70s, and this is a newer version of it with new stuff built in. So, in fact, I recognize this number because I just did, well, not just, but not too long ago, I did a video on my retro computing channel about this very IC chip. So yeah, Jim, I can use this. It looks like you sent me one. How many have we got here? Two of them. Yeah. So we got two of those. So those are very useful chips. What we got here is a static RAM chip, 32K by 8 static RAM chip. I have a lot of these. They come in useful for retro computing, but I'm already up to my gills with them. When I get extra ones, they generally get scrapped out for the gold content. But yeah, thank you, Jim. So let's see what else we got here. There's another 32K by 8 RAM chip. And I think I saw some more in here. Yeah, there's a, what's that? Yeah, that's a 32K by 8, just by a different company. And then we got some ceramic chips in here. And these are EEPROMs. 27C256. So these are 32K by 8 EEPROMs in ceramic packages. Yes, there's that one. This one's got a label on it, which I can't quite read what it is, but I imagine it's more of the same. No, this is a much higher density EEPROM. This is a 27C100. That is a let's see. That is 128K by 8 EEPROM, I believe. So these are just ceramic EEPROMs. They're newer ones. You can't see any gold through the windows on them. Older EEPROMs are better for gold. There might still be a little bit of precious metal in them, but not as good as the older stuff for sure. Let's see what we've got here. These look like programmable logic. Normally, if you see a plastic dip chip like this with a label on it, it's usually like a PAL or a GAL or something that's been programmed. And, well, I don't even see a number on this chip. Let me see. Yeah, there was a number there. It came off with the label. Let me try another one. So I pull this off without pulling the number off. Aha! This label wants to shred rather than come off. But yeah, from what I'm seeing of the number, it looks like it's some sort of programmable logic chip. I just can't tell exactly what yet. Ah, yes. So that's an Atmel 22V10. That is a programmable logic array chip. So that's what we got there. I don't know if this is the type that's erasable and reusable or not. I will have to research that, because that might actually come in handy for some of my projects if it can be erased and reprogrammed. If not, well, it'll just go into my pile of scrap ICs for rendering down for gold. Thank you, Jim. What do we got in this thing? I don't know. South African tiger iron, banded iron. Oh, yeah, Jim's main thing is lapidary. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at it, it's polished too. It's not just a piece of rock, it's polished. See if I can zoom in on that a little bit for you. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Wow. Thank you, Jim. Holy moly. I'm loving that. See, I've got some tiger eye. So I may need to polish some of mine and see if it comes out looking this good, because this is amazing. Thank you, Jim. Let me put this, back in the bag before I drop it on the ground and damage it, along with the label of what it is. That's going to go in a prominent place in my own personal collection right there. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, Jim's main thing is lapidary. He has a booth at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show every year, and I may be down there hanging out with him this year. What's this say? Open carefully, contains 2 slabs wrapped together. Okay, I shall open carefully, because lapidary is one of my main hobbies too. You see it on my other channel. Oh yeah, very well wrapped. Oh yeah, another slab of tiger eye. Okay. Whoa, it's polished on one side. Wow. Look at that. Polished, unpolished. Even unpolished, this stuff's amazing, but polished, wow, that knocks your socks off. Jim, you're showing off, man. You're showing off. I got to get as good at polish as you are, buddy. What have we got here? Well, that's clearly the unpolished side. Okay. Did I miss something that tells me what this stuff is? I'm not immediately recognizing that. I mean, it has the look of, I don't know, is it serpentine, Jim? What is that? Green serpentine, or I'm probably way off base. Anyway, email me and let me know what this is. It's pretty, though. It's very shiny. Thank you. All right, let's see what else is down here in the box. Let me move this stuff out of harm's way here. This is fairly heavy for its size, whatever it is. Feels like it's got a lot of something in it, though. Uh-huh. What we got here? It's like rocks. I may have to move this to my lapidary channel, since this is going to be mostly rocks, apparently, rather than scrap. You never know with Jim what you're going to get. Oh, purple amethyst. Yeah, this is. He was telling me he was going to send me some amethyst. He's hooked up with some guys who mine it up in the Four Peaks area. Now this looks like the kind of stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but this looks like stuff that needs to be tumbled. Let me wet this real quick for you. Look at the color, the deep purple in there. My camera's probably not doing it justice as usual. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I'm thinking this needs to be tumbled to bring out the beauty of it. So, well, fortunately, I am well provisioned with tumbling equipment. And this feels like we got something else rocky in here. Let's see here. I'm gonna cut the bag it's in, but there's a lot of tape there. Let's see here. Ah, this is. Oh, I can't remember. It slips my mind. Jim found out about a new mine for this jasper up north of Phoenix, I think it is. So here's some of this red jasper. Got it out, wet it down, so you can see the color on it. Isn't that amazing? Look at that color. Wow. Yeah, how red that is. Most of these would need tumbling. Some of them are probably big enough to cut. Slab. Maybe there'll be some interesting cabbable parts. That's got an interesting pattern in it. So, yeah, I'll be working on that in the future. So, yeah, this is turning out to be more of a rock video than a scrap video. So if you tuned in for a scrap video, sorry. This is turning into a rock video. But, you know, Jim's like me. We have both hobbies, both of us. So, anyway, I remembered what the name of this red jasper is, but I don't think I'm going to say it because the name kind of gives away the location. And we don't want to rush out there. Jim is hooked up with some people who are mining out there, and I'm sure he's getting a good deal on this stuff. And, you know, we probably don't want, you know, like a big rush of people up there to that area. So certainly not before I can get out there with Jim and do some mining, okay? Which might happen because I'm going to try and get to Jim's area of the world again early next year. I'm going to go and try and hang out at his booth at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show in February. It's not 100% certain yet, but it looks like I'm going to be down there at the Gem and Mineral Show in February. I'll hang out with Jim at his booth. He has a booth there every year. And then maybe, you know, go mining somewhere. That would be great. We'll see. So anyway, wow, thank you, Jim. This is just quite the haul of stuff here. So thank you, Jim. It's quite the haul here. Lots of rocks, some nice scrap, some pieces I can use probably with my retro computing projects, and just some really beautiful display pieces here. So, you know, this is going to keep me really busy. All 3 channels. Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I couldn't be happier. If you guys are happy out there, give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. And check out my 2 other channels, ElectroGeek64 and Mike's Lapidary and Fossils. Over at ElectroGeek64, this stuff might make an appearance in a retro computing project. And at Mike's Lapidary and Fossils, well, I'll be polishing, tumbling, cutting, cabbing this stuff. So, yeah. Thanks again, Jim. This is great. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.